Hey, welcome to another edition of the Independent Creator Podcast. I'm your humble host, and tonight we're actually going to talk about Owncast, the community initiative that just started today, and a little bit about the Fediverse. Some stuff here and there. We'll talk about that. So, join us, will you? So, one thing that we want to talk about is pretty much is on everybody's mind is Owncast. Owncast is really, a great place to be if you really think about it, because not only is it open source, it's free. All you gotta do is pay for the hardware that to host it on, or a server or whatever, and it's pretty much it's a drop and go kind of piece of kit. There's not really much to it except for live streaming and a chat. And if you're watching on our Owncast server, welcome. And it's a great place to actually, take control of your actual live streaming, your actual content. It's just one hub, really, because if you've been watching or been listening to the show, watching whatever, or reading the blog post, you know that I'm a big proponent of actually owning your own content. What I mean by that is making a website, setting it up so you can post stuff to your website, any kind of articles, blog posts, writings, whatever, video submissions, whatever you want, and then taking that and sharing it out to the other central or the other social networks, like Mastodon, or if you're still on it, X Twitter, if you're on Threads or Blue Sky, you just share out from your actual website. Sorry, I just had a cat up here not too long ago, so still has some cat hair floating about. She wanted to have some attention, but that's my big thing. Is one aspect of actually owning your content is live streaming. Now, most of us know about live streaming through either Twitch, YouTube, LiveSpace, Facebook Gaming. That's pretty much it at the moment. Hopefully soon we have SharePlay coming in. But one aspect to actually own your content is to have a live streaming place all your own that you fully control, and that is Owncast. Now, Owncast has been around for a while. We've talked about this a couple episodes ago, where I showed you how to set up your own Owncast server on Hetzner, which is a web hosting company. It's another one. You don't have to use Hetzner. You can use, there's Linode or DigitalOcean. There's many different places out there that you can utilize in order to set up your own particular Owncast server. Now, one other thing I have to say is that Owncast, like I said, is free. All you have to do is really have the infrastructure. If you have your own hardware set up, that is where you can host your own server, or again use a web hosting company like Hetzner or Linode. So it's something that you can think about, and it's really it's I'll have to say it is very good, in that it is not too expensive. You can run an Owncast server on like a $5 node. It may not run well, but you might want to beef up the CPU or move up to a more powerful CPU, because it does take some CPU usage on your server. But sorry, what it is that it requires some hardware that you have to think about. Now, one thing I want to talk about actually is there is a community initiative that's actually just started today to bring about more people into the Owncast fold, or the Owncast community. Most notably, people that can do like theming or customization. Because what I've been noticing, or yeah, pretty much what I've been noticing, is that when somebody starts up an Owncast server, most of the time is that they leave it on the default theme. If you're watching our streams, you'll notice that our theme is not the default. That's because I found it's all built in CSS. So if you are very fluent in CSS and you have the capability, I would suggest actually trying your hand at making a theme for Owncast. So let me show you this one here. This one is actually from TaintedCypher. It's called it's like a Twitchy. It's called Twitchy, and it's an Owncast theme. It kind of gives your Owncast server a Twitch-like appearance. I know some people might not like, the Twitch-ified look, but it's something different than just a default look. So, of course, I have it here on our side here. It gives all the purple, and then in the chat we'll have like the alternating names that are the different colors. But this one, well, I should say this is what I'm using. This is all very customizable. So if you do know CSS and you take this one, you can actually play around with it. And I'll show you here how easy it is to actually change your appearance. Because I think a lot of people don't necessarily understand or actually look for the appearance tab, which is a shame because you can, if you have the capability or even just changing the colors a little bit, a lot of people don't go into it. They just kind of like set it and forget it and just run as a default theme. So I'm going to go into my Owncast admin here. Go into general. And what you want to do is once you're logged into your admin side, go into configuration and general, and you'll see these three tabs up here. The general is just where you can give your name, your URL, about, logo, and stuff like that, and tags. But right here, the appearance tab, if you go here, right off the bat, you can set up different colors. Like you can have a background color. You can change all this stuff and make it your own. No matter how many times you want to style this, you can always just go back and just change it to the default. But you can also change like action hover, which means hovering over links, button, borders, primary text, chat background, chat font, the text itself. If it's if it's light mode or dark mode, the header and footer, page content, you get the idea. It's now, excuse me. Down here is the CSS. This is the meat and potatoes, as it were. Is that if you're like Keep Harpin, if you're comfortable and you know your way around CSS, give this a go. Me personally, I don't have experience in CSS. Sorry, I had to sneeze there for a second. I don't have any experience in CSS, but from what I've heard and been seeing around is that once you get to actually understand what each section is, it's actually pretty easy to get a grasp of it. So I'm going to probably make it my mission to try to set up or customize a CSS and see how it goes and make a different theme that I'll put up on thisindie.creator.com as a free resource. But with this one, if you go to, I'll have this in the video description on YouTube, but this one is, if you find it on GitHub, there's a couple links out there as well that it already has a CSS. All you gotta do is copy it and paste it into the CSS call or the section here and just hit save. And then you're pretty much good to go. And you'll have a Twitch-like Owncast server. So that makes things a lot easier. Now you don't have to do the CSS. Again, like I said, you can just change the colors to something completely different because it's fully customizable. It was back in the version 0.1.0, that big update is when you will be able to change the colors in the GUI into the actual admin side. You could have done it beforehand, but you would have to have some HTML knowledge. It wasn't really easy to get to or change, but the people who make or who work on Owncast really have done themselves a great service in setting this up for everybody. And again, like I said, not that many people, I don't believe, go into the appearance tab, and which is a shame because it's a great feature that you can use. It's free. You don't have to pay for it. It's all open source. So I hope, just to get this information out, I hope a lot of people actually, take the chance. And again, if you don't like what you set up, just hit this reset the defaults and it automatically change everything back to the default. And then you can try something else. See if that works. And a great resource is actually look online for a color wheel. What I mean by that is it's a color wheel that helps you set up like complementary colors. So you can say if you do like a purple, what's the complementary color to purple? And it's several different options that you can use to help keep your color matching a little bit more streamlined and not go so crazy. You don't want to. I mean, if you really want to go this route, you can go with like the ketchup and mustard look. It's old school McDonald's, but it's kind of you do you. But yeah, I really haven't seen anyone don't do like crazy colors. I mean, it's possible if you really wanted to do that, you can do it, but you can match or have complementary colors or with color wheels that are kind of like a gradient from one to another, so you have a lot of options here. Now one other thing I want to look at is or show you is that a community initiative, I briefly mentioned this at the beginning, is that we want to bring a more community focus or look, or I should say, bring about more eyes into the actual community that surrounds Owncast. Because right now, people says, get the information or get their server, the software installed, and then they're off on their own tangent and doing whatever, which is great because hey, they're using Owncast software, and that's what it was built for, is to control your own content. But we want to also include the people who want to have a little bit more voice and to say, hey, I actually know how to do CSS theming, and let me try to work up something real quick and share it out to the community.